Now I would like to invite Dr. Sumeet Suseelan sir, member of Aviation industry, to please come forward and share their views on challenges and hurdles for startups.
Uh, I'm Dr. Sumeet Suseelan, member of the Ministry of Civil Aviation, also known as Aviation Guru. And I'm an aviation author. I've written more than 23 books of aviation, and few are the curriculum books for IIMs also. And also a part of head of training policy for Govt of India for drone training for TED 32 for Bureau of Indian Standards, Govt of India. And from the point of view of a business, I own a company called International Institute of Aviation, where we train the manpower for the aviation industry. As well as I have a charter company called Divine Air, connecting spiritual India. We operate charters for VVIPs and especially for election duties. We fly our helicopters there. So, when it comes to hurdles for startups, when we listen to most of the startups, the first thing which they face problem is for their funding part. Funding is a bigger challenge where we know that every time the finance ministry, MSME ministry comes up with a solution of big funds allocated for them, saying for the startup funds. But the reality we see when we actually go to the banks to get these loan pass, when they say there's no guarantee required to get this loan, like up to 5 crores, you don't need any guarantee. But the actual things are that bank doesn't want to support startups because they don't want to take a risk. Because nowadays, with the new government, the policies are quite strict. If anyone had taken the loan and they run away, the bank manager after the retirement also had to come back to the bank to give the explanation. So somewhere like we can't claim that banks are not supporting because somewhere the staff have handcuffs. They can't proceed in a free hand how the ministers are speaking in the parliament. So that's one of the challenge. And I have personally experienced this thing when I have done a meeting with multiple bank vice presidents. When I asked them the same thing, like why you are not supporting the startups? So one of the things they say like that people who are coming up, they don't have passion for that particular field which they are. They think it has money, so they jumped into it. Might be it's not their domain. They're not from the particular domain, but they see that EdTech is doing good, so they jumped into it. But exactly, if we say they don't have much idea about it, they source the manpower for particular domain, and with time when the people leave that company, that entire startup get into failures. So bank doesn't want to take a risk with that. Most of the time, the banks or the investors put the money on the person, not on the startup, because they want to know how passionate the person is. Because if the person is really very passionate, definitely they will not let the startup go down. So this is one of the challenges which we see that where we have to work, and the other part like wrong entry, wrong industry, and the wrong time. I'll give you with example. Amazon is doing very good. They are doing really good, but the same idea came up 20 years back by a person called Captain Gopinath. He had launched a company called Deccan 360. He wanted to operate an airline where he will supply all the cargo goods when they place an order online. But the challenge was there was no much internet connection. People were not using it. The idea was very good. It was same idea of Amazon, but wrong time entry. So they got investment. They started the company, but within a year the company got collapsed because they had got the aircrafts. They spent millions of dollars on operating the entire routes, but because of no demand, it completely got collapsed. But the same formula came up in the market a couple of years back, and the name was different. It's called QuickJet, who launched this thing, a particular domain focused only for cargo segment, who operated point A to point B, and with the support of Amazon. So the company was called Amazon Prime. It was printed on the aircraft, Amazon Prime. They were taking the order only of Amazon. So they were supplying all the cargo goods from point A to point B. It was same formula, but came in the right time. So they did good. Another very common company which did very good, I should say Byju's. You see, they got billions of funds from here and there, and I think they were playing on the grapes when the COVID came up. When the COVID came up, all the companies were going down and the Byju's were doing good. But people thought like it will remain for very long. But hardly for a couple of years, this COVID survived in the market and COVID went off, same as Byju's went off from the market. Because exactly as a parent, if we talk about like parents, if you talk to them and if you talk to an Indian parent, if you ask this question, do you still want to give your mobile phone to your kids? Do you think they will say yes? No, of course. So this will not work. And even if you ask a mother that would you like to keep your kid at home all the time, what is the thing? What they will say? They want to push the kids to the school so that they will learn something. They will get together. The personality will develop. But Byju's somewhere in that segment was not doing good. So that's why during COVID it gone up. With time they completely lapsed from the market. So that was one of the challenge. Our innovator, startup definitely should look for a futuristic products. If you want to do R&D, so do something which is going to be the demand for future. If I say about drone, because I am a head of policy for Government of India, I see a lot of people coming up with solutions for the country. Especially as my panelists already briefed you about the demands of transportations of weapons. The weapons which are used by our army men are really very heavy. But you think if a person, innovator will come up with a solution where an army person is reaching a place before that the weapons are already there. How good it will be? How much energy they will save? Because carrying this 50 kg machine guns and all and climbing up the mountain and like the drone is doing this solution for them. So half of the battle we already won because we have our army having energy level. So these type of things are coming up in the future. Whereas I said transportation, the latest news you might heard a company called Archer who are doing a transportation of the passengers. As we know, if you have to travel from Delhi to Gurgaon, it takes around 2.5 hours because of a great traffic problem in our country. Whereas the Indigo, the company did a collaboration with a company called Archer, who are coming up with the passenger drone solutions, where they will pick you from Gurgaon and drop you at Connaught Place at 7 minutes. Hardly 7 minutes you will reach from Gurgaon to Connaught Place. I think this is the solution which we were looking for. Whenever we are stuck in traffic, we always think, why don't we have a solution for this traffic? So this is the solution which is coming up now. And the orders are huge. The first company who came up with the idea of drone transportation, they got $1 billion investment. And the countries are behind them. Like the first company who had placed the order was Dubai, UAE. And the second company was India, who had placed the order for this aircraft. And I meet all of the people who say, sir, take money from me, I'm ready to invest for this idea. So, fund is not a challenge if you have very innovative ideas. Even if you go to Northeast, nowadays the body organs, the human organs are transported by the drones. Because earlier we used to create the green corridors, traffic is still a problem. So, to save a life, we have now already started doing transportation of organs by drone. Another solution, if you say about a solution like firefighting. Suppose there's a fire somewhere, and if a fire brigade have to reach that place because of traffic takes hours of time, until the time the vehicle reach over there, the place is already swaha, done. Right? So the solution, there are solutions by the drones where the drone can reach within 5 minutes from the fire brigade fire stations to that place and can fight the fire. So these solutions are already created and R&D already done. Now the companies are into taking the investment for this. And these things are doing really great in the market. And I would say like people who are into this, they mostly are people who are from IITs, they did IIT, they don't want to get a job now because their startup minds are working well. They want to come up with a solution for the country. So these are some of the solutions which we are getting because of the good startups who are coming up in the countries. I hope I believe most of the things of the startup. I'll not take much time. Thanks a lot. Thank you.